guys, to our Week 5 preview podcast. We have a new face on. Afam, who's a Manchester United fan, faithful.
Yeah,
So,
glad to be on the show. We wanted to be on this show like for ages. And when you get
regular, we have a regular Sari rants artist, but that's from my life now. Now Lampard. What should I call you now? I'll call you Lampard fanboy. Is that a good?
I'm a fanboy. I'm a groupie of Lampard.
Okay, Lampard. I don't want to go there, but I'm glad you got that.
It's official now.
So
I'll
Lampard
remind you of this.
Idris. Chelsea fan. So it's an international break. So it's a good time to go through a couple of key questions. Look at the player of the season so far. EPL player of the season in the past 1 month. What player has been surprise package? Early manager candidate sack. We already had one sacking already, but they're probably potential candidates. And we'll end with a quick review of the Wolves Chelsea and quick predictions of that game and the United Leicester game. Norwich Man City, Newcastle, Watford Arsenal, Spurs and Crystal Palace game. So we're going to start with Afam. This is a new person on the podcast. Who has impressed you, player of the season so far?
I think it's easy. I think it's I know it's Kevin De Bruyne. I think he's been consistent as always. Last season he didn't have that many games because he wasn't fit, but this season he's coming having a full preseason. He's done exceptionally well in all the games. I think he has an assist in every single game they've had this season. He got a goal in the last one as well, and set up a goal as well. So I think he's very key with the way they play, the creativity, and with David Silva being a little bit on the aging side. It's good to have De Bruyne back like 100% this season. So you can actually see David Silva in the last 2 or 3 games also having a lot of assists, like 2 assists as well and a goal. So it shows that with Kevin De Bruyne in the team and with the new guy they signed, Rodri, they're looking like the team. Their second team can probably win the league. So having De Bruyne in that team is exceptional. He's always been exceptional. Last season was just a period he wasn't there most of the time. And for the team to still win without him last season and having him this season, I don't think anyone's going to stop Man City this year. So Kevin De Bruyne is my player so far, and I think he will be the player of the season at the end of the season as well.
Okay, great points. Idris.
I was gonna go with Aguero, but listening to what Afam said, same thing. I think I'll lean towards De Bruyne with the assist.
Why Aguero for you?
It's the goals he scored. I mean, he's not the highest goal scorer like Pukki. I was leaning towards Pukki too. But then Pukki scored 3 goals in 1 game or something like that. So it's kind of it's hard to share. If I was going to bring up Pukki, then I'll bring up Tammy Abraham in Chelsea, who's just happened to find his feet last two games. But also the quality of opposition that they played plays a role. As the question entails, like the EPL player of the season so far and the higher which they're going, it has to be a Man City player in Kevin De Bruyne, in my opinion, or even maybe one of the Liverpool players, but I can't really see anyone that stands out in Liverpool.
Exactly.
Other than De Bruyne or Aguero, in my opinion.
So it's not as a
sorry
as a collector.
We'll get there.
I thought it was going to be.
We'll get there.
So if it's Zuma. Bro, I agree.
Assist of the season, Zuma.
I agree. KDB, I mean, I've been a KDB.
Amazing footballer.
You probably, maybe Idris knows this. I don't know if Afam knows this on the group. I've been one of the early KDB fanboy, and it's weird, obviously, he plays for our rivals. But one thing, every time I see KDB, all I see about him is efficiency. He's a creative player, but he's very efficient with the ball. Everything he does is positive. It's like his movements, his passes, his long range, short range passes. It's like he's probably one of the most efficient midfielders in European football with the ball. Yeah. Attacking midfield, he's very efficient with the ball. He doesn't dilly, he doesn't dally, he doesn't dilly-dally. Just move one touch, shot when it's time to shoot, when he takes it to pass.
Decision making is outstanding.
I think, his decision making is. I agree. I think it's probably.
It boils down to his coaching too, right? When you look at
absolutely
like most of the midfielders Pep has produced, even at Bayern, like there's always that guy that you and I probably never thought would be that efficient, that all of a sudden in his team becomes efficient. We were accustomed to Xavi and Iniesta, then all of a sudden he went to Bayern. And we saw the same thing even with Alonso, that was supposed to be in in Liverpool and doing a completely different style of play. And now in Man City, former Chelsea boy who used to play on the wings, who was supposed to be an attacker, who was supposed to replace the likes of, he was better than Ruben and all Damien Duff and all those guys on the wings that would actually have. And he turns out to be one of the most efficient. Even Gundogan in Man City is equally as efficient, but De Bruyne is just on a different level in terms of talent. But who knew Gundogan before he came to Man City? Let's be honest.
We knew him in Dortmund, but he had that long-term injury that.
That's
he had that long-term injury. That
was that back injury.
Yeah, that back injury that refused to go.
Yeah.
So with the 2-8, there's one thing he does, like playing those 2-8s. It's either Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva or David Silva and Gundogan. He plays with 2-8s. Like they have 2 creative midfielders every
and Bernardo Silva as well. That's another really good player.
Right. So
that guy, that's efficiency. His entire career. That guy is efficient.
Correct. So now stay with Idris. Who is your surprise package player of the season so far?
I was gonna go with a Chelsea player, but like still the same concept. I'll go with what's his name, James in Manchester United.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like very surprised. Nobody knew him till he banged that goal against us. So it was like, and
that's true. Yeah, you're right.
Everybody was laughing at Ole. Then all of a sudden, next game, and is its output and how many minutes he's played. If not him, I will go with Mason Mount. The ability for Mason Mount to drift. I mean, Ross Barkley is supposed to be a senior player, but the honest truth is he just disappears in very critical moments of the game for such a high caliber and experienced kind of player. Then you have this 19-year-old who he stepped up when Pedro got injured 5 minutes to the beginning of the game. He plays on the wing. He plays in number 10 behind the striker. He does anything he's asked to do. Okay. And he does it well. So, but I'll go with James because of the amount of goals and the amount of games he's played.
Okay, I agree. Afam.
Without any question, Mason Mount. I'm not going to think Daniel James. And the reason for this is, if you watch all the games that both players have played, like Daniel James and Mason Mount plays with some sort of composure that is way beyond his age. Yeah. He makes better decisions and final balls than Daniel James. And I feel it's not even just about these 4-5 games. I think Mason Mount is going to be like proper revelation this season because Lampard doesn't have any other person to depend on. When it comes to the front three behind Tammy Abraham, I think he's the most efficient. I think he's the person that brings the spark when they need something to happen. So if you are that young and you are that important in the team as Chelsea, you're definitely doing something right. Daniel James has gotten a few goals here and there, a couple of free kicks, put pressure on defenders, but his end product I know he's young, he's not yet there, but his end product is not yet anywhere close to what we expect. But for Mason Mount to just come out of nowhere and deliver not just in goals, his movements, his creativity, his confidence. I think he goes I watched the game against Man United and a few other games afterwards. Like he's played against some really experienced defenders and he holds his own. He doesn't look different. It doesn't look like, he's a youngster trying to be up and coming. Rashford has that. Rashford has been in the Premier League for like 4 or 5 years thereabouts. But Rashford still plays like he's an upcoming player. He doesn't have that composure. Like I know everyone can have a bad game here and there, but there's a level of composure you're supposed to have. There are some easy passes. There are some things you should see in the game as an experienced player like Rashford. Although they would like to call him a young player. I don't see Rashford as a young player. When you've played 4 seasons in the Premier League, you are not upcoming anymore. So for what Mason Mount is doing at the start of his career is quite impressive. It's not just the goals, it's not just the assists, it's the movement, the composure. The football brain is above his age for now. So I'll give it to him.
Afam, can I throw in something there with It's not making a case against Mason Mount, more like making a case for James.
Yeah.
Where was James playing last season? Because I didn't know him till
He was playing in Swansea.
with Swansea in
in championship.
championship.
But I know, funny enough, I know about Swansea because
we know where Swansea ended up in championship as. Right. Mason Mount literally played. Stats may be wrong. Do not hold my feet to the fire. 90 to about 85% of Derby's games.
Mm-hmm.
So for us that were Chelsea fans, we were watching him and we had already tagged him the next Frank Lampard with the amount of output he gives. Fikayo Tomori played 100% of their games. So we know the kind of like level. Yeah. So when I saw James, I was like, to be very honest, he just came from nowhere. Like it was like, I was like, who's this guy? So like, yeah, when every good thing you said about Mason Mount, it was kind of like he's kind of built it over the years with the same manager playing for him. So there's that advantage of him being like, I know I'm playing for my first now. You know, so when like James didn't play for Ole, James just came through and all of a sudden he's killing Chelsea. I mean, he's losing to other teams, but the boy is a constant. Where you have Sanchez that they just got rid of, where you have like even like like senior as Afam rightly said, senior players like Rashford, they're not composed as this guy that comes in every second half or something like that. So that's why I was like, shocked. I'm like, who is this guy? Like And again, my flame out, like Manchester United star boys, they just flame out like Machado, or whatever his name is. And like you guys have sometimes some players just come, then they just flame out. So I don't know.
Yeah. I agree with both options. Mr. Mount is a very good shot for sure. Just to add to what you said about him being very composed it was that Super Cup game. I was really impressed against Liverpool. Wow.
I forgot to mention that.
This kid it was very composed. So, but my own is actually Pookie. Funny enough, I go with Pookie just because of the fact. No, but I think a surprise package.
Okay.
But
well.
A young player of the year. Yeah. I didn't see it coming. I didn't see his composure. I saw his finish against Liverpool. That finish was very, very good. The runs he made behind defense. He reminds me so much of a Jamie Vardy. The way he runs behind defenses, his decision making. But his finishing is really very exquisite. He knows how to place the ball. He places the ball. So that's good.
Pookie scored Golden Boot last year in Championship.
Correct.
And so, because he scored that amount of goal, if you notice, I didn't even mention Tammy Abraham. I mentioned Tamori, I mentioned Mason Mount. I didn't mention because Tammy Abraham at 19 scored 20. He won the Golden Boot. I may be wrong. He scored 26 goals or so for Bristol City in Championship. Then next season he came to Swansea. Yeah, then Swansea was crap, 5 goals or something. Then we sent him to Aston Villa. Then he banks equal amount of goals in Aston Villa. Right. So I couldn't say he's a surprise package because we know he can score goals. That's why I come to
I guess for me, I always know that the step up. This is why I use that. The step up from Championship to Premiership. It doesn't always usually work like that, right? Or some players banging goals Championship, they come to Premiership, maybe they get 8 goals, 9 goals. They don't get those double figures. He looks on track to be a guy that can get into double figures, 17, 18 goals. But we'll see. We'll see. It might be time will tell. Early manager candidates for the sack. We know. So we'll go with Afam.
They robbed me of my joy. If only Ayo could have done this thing like yesterday morning. And I'll say I told you so, but
I told you so. I know.
The only other person I can see for now is in Smith of Aston Villa. And the only reason why I'm saying that is I've seen them play. They look exciting. Grealish, McGuinness, a couple of guys there looking really good and sharp. But when a team spends a lot of money on like 15 players and something starts to go wrong, there is a very high possibility that he will be the sacrificial lamb. And the reason why I'm saying that is they will look at QPR because the model they are following now was something that QPR did when they came up as well. They went for so many players, changed the whole squad and tried to make something out of it. And sometimes it takes a lot of time to gel. And in the Premier League, the amount of money involved now, especially coming from the Championship to the Premier League, is a lot of money right now. So if it gets to a point where they start to drop points, like 2-3 games, and it just happens that when you're a Championship team coming to the Premier League and you have a rough run of 2 or 3 games, that you lose, and it's not necessarily against the big people, but against people like middle table and down. They always just want to hold somebody responsible when they spend that amount of money, and I think he will be the one. The only other person I thought that would be close to that would be our very own Ole, but I don't think it will get. I don't think he'll get sacked before Dean Smith. Let me just put it that way.
Okay.
That's
So, Idris, are you going to tell us that your man is going to get fired first?
I will use. I hope
Frankie Lampard.
I hope Afam understand this part of Yoruba. We are very crazy people.
Yeah,
We can do anything, and even us like we're so okay. But we.
So who's your candidate? Who's your candidate?
Who's my candidate? I love people are really underperforming. I never even thought about Dean Smith because I'll say why I did not think about him. I actually thought about Silva in Everton. Yeah, he's got some very good young kids, and not just young kids that are like guys that are like people actually are excited about Moiskin, even it will be and his results are a little kinda like and yeah. To be honest, he's just gotten this talents, right? He needs time to mesh them together. He was my first candidate, but then I cannot remember Aston Villa's managerial, as you mentioned, Watford business philosophy in terms of firing manager. I could only think about aside Silva and Everton. I could only think about like my team Chelsea and United because Chelsea. Because it's Chelsea. It's not because it makes any sense. It's just because it's Chelsea. Yeah, but I couldn't see with as you mentioned, the Aston Villa coach, his purchase of players was actually in line with scouts and the ownership board of Aston Villa. They have a long term. I follow them because of John Terry. They have a long term goal. Same thing with Ole at United. Same thing with Frank Lampard. Like even the owner knows it would be suicidal for him owning the club to fire Frank Lampard right now. So
that's why I didn't even think of him.
He knows that. So there's never been a harmony in Chelsea till now, and we're not doing the greatest. So I'll stick with Silva.
Okay, so quickly I'll just do my own is actually Graham Potter of Brighton. Brighton. I watched their games. They won one game, but Brighton looked horrible against Chelsea, against City. They look horrible. I saw one other. I think I saw the first game they lost. They've lost like 3 games. I know they won 1 game. They have 3 points.
They won 1 game.
But that game
that's surprising.
That game was a shady game. It was a shady game. It was bad refereeing, some dodgy calls.
Brighton
look. I think it's Watford. Yes, it was Watford.
The first game was
they are a dodgy team. They look terrible. Graham Potter, who they just hired after they fired Chris Hughton, they look terrible. When I watched them, they look terrible. Before at least last season, they could defend. They were known for like packing the ball, so they need to get results. This season, they just look all over the place. And I think their manager is probably the next person I will go. Because I look at their fixtures, I'm like, these guys look like I can't wait to get the win the next 5-6 games. So I think that he's going to go.
Did they invest in the team? I can't remember any.
They didn't really.
Yeah.
For me,
I think they brought in like 40 million. They did, right? I think they brought like somebody for like 40 million, if I remember, or 30 million. They spent like close to 60 million pounds or 50 million. I can't remember. But I think they invested. They invested about like the 2 players.
The signings must have been very quiet because.
Yeah, they were quite
right.
It's right.
Yeah, but if you're signing 60 million, at least you should know 1 or 2 of the players.
And they held on to Dunk.
Dunk
was supposed to go to Leicester, but it didn't happen. So real quick, since we're out of time, Wolves Chelsea, Idris. Sticking with Idris, Wolves Chelsea. Just give me in 15 seconds. I don't know if you can tell me 15 seconds how it's going to go. Just give me 15 seconds how it's going to go and give me your score, your final score. Then I'll go to Afam.
Chelsea's going to score 2 goals, guaranteed.
Okay.
We are going to concede probably 2 goals. fault.
That's a fair.
Yeah, that's my prediction.
That's exactly my
You don't feel
prediction.
like
2-2.
Yeah, we are going to score 2
2-2.
goals. We're going to score 2 goals.
Yeah, that's my
But
prediction.
here's the thing, Afam too though. Here's the thing I'm thinking. If Rudiger is back in the team, Reece
Okay.
James plays, N'Golo Kante plays, Mason Mount, he's young. I hope he's not stretched out with the international game, so hopefully he can play and there's no fatigue in it. I don't think we have too many people playing internationally aside Giroud. Tammy Abraham is still there, so I'm the output up front will be good. Defense is where my issues are. And Kovacic hasn't inflamed actually, so he's not going to play. So we really don't know what the midfield is going to look like unless our Oga Kante comes back with his ankle injury. That's the only hope we are having right now. And if he comes back, we will probably win the game. If he's not there, we will score goals, but we'll concede equal amounts.
Okay, so 2-2 for you. I say 2-1. Wolves win just because they have a better midfield. Wolves they know how to play big teams. They know how to spring counter. That's what they're going to do. And Chelsea are susceptible to counter attack. So I think I go 2-1 with Chelsea. Man U, Leicester City.
Rumor has it that Frank Lampard is trying a 3-back right after Kovacic's injury. He's trying to figure out a way how to even use Alonso with Palmieri, Emerson in the midfield. You see, this is why we love him as a Chelsea coach. We know he knows this is the situation. He's going to figure out a way to do something about it. Even if he loses, we see him trying.
Okay, Man U, Leicester City. Give me a prediction. We moved on from Chelsea. Man U, Leicester City.
To be honest, okay, go
Afam
first.
Afam, go. What's your prediction? No, let's do Afam. Afam.
Yeah.
Man U, Leicester. Just a prediction. Scoreline prediction.
Scoreline prediction.
Just scoreline prediction.
2-1. Leicester City win. Leicester City.
Okay. Interesting. Idris.
2-1 United.
Okay, we said 2-1. If so, this is my own. I have two predictions. Pogba is back.
The best will get to the job.
If Pogba is back from his ankle injury and Martial are back, we win 2-1. If either of them are missing, it ends 1-1. Norwich Man City. This is easy prediction.
This one will be
Afam.
This one 4-1.
4-1. Okay. Idris.
3-1
away for Man City. I say 4-1 to Afam. That was my prediction. Liverpool, Newcastle. Afam.
That's a tough game, man.
In Anfield. Liverpool, Newcastle at Anfield.
I feel they are just going to pack the bus, and when you pack the bus for a long time like that, it can be frustrating. So, 2-1 Liverpool.
2-1 Liverpool. Okay. Idris.
I'll say there's nobody that's going to score for Newcastle. I'm going to say 2-0, and it's because it's international break. If it wasn't international break, I'm like 4-0 Liverpool.
Yeah, that factors in as well.
Yeah, if it wasn't because all their players are playing internationally, yeah.
So for me, I said 3-0. Mane, Salah, the two key guys, they didn't travel, so they didn't go for the international. So I think 3-0. No, they're home.
Oh, then it's definitely 3-0. Sorry. I can't be sure.
But thinking about that, maybe 3-1. Yep.
3-1. Watford,
Arsenal. Huh?
Arsenal will win this one.
They will win it. It will be close. But what I don't know now is if it's 2-1 or 3-2. But it will be close. But Arsenal will win it. They will edge it slightly.
Okay.
Arsenal will edge that one.
Idris.
I'm with Afam, Tinkerbell. The guy will go. We find a way to mess it up. It's 3-2. They will win, but it will be close. It will be unnecessarily close. That's the problem.
I agree with you. It tinkers a lot too. Secondly, because the new manager bound to put all their egg. They're going to fight, and the fans will be up for it. They just got a new manager. So 2-1. They don't have Troy Deeney. If they had Troy Deeney, if Troy Deeney is out with his injury, I would have said it might be a draw because Troy Deeney always knows how to handle Arsenal. So yeah, I think Arsenal wins 2-1. Final one: Spurs, Crystal Palace. Afam.
Spurs with the win, but the reason is they need to have Ndombele back in that midfield. Because that midfield, since he got injured, has not looked. Even when he was there, they've been having. It's surprising because this is the same Spurs team they've had, and to me, the signings they've made have improved the team.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised to see the kind of performances I've seen in the last few games. The ones they won, they struggled. I'm trying to remember the particular one where they came from behind, and Ndombele scored in that game.
Villa.
That's on
first game.
unbelievable. So if they can get NWA back in the midfield, Ericsson starting, Harry Kane seems to be in form based on what we've seen in the internationals. I think they're good enough to get a win over Crystal Palace. But what I've seen from Crystal Palace this season is they kind of find a way. It's not like they're playing that great, but they always find a way to frustrate the opponent, and they get one, they get a goal that you don't expect them to get. But and Ayew looks like he's quite in good form, and Spurs at the moment, I'm not 100% convinced, but I believe in Pochettino a lot that he can do enough to take care of Crystal Palace. So I'll go Spurs 2-1 against Crystal Palace.
Idris.
I was gonna, even though Ndombele is fit, then Spurs 2-1, because Crystal Palace finds a way to frustrate teams. It's really what Hodgson does. That man just finds a way to bring out the best in those guys. So
he's a dinosaur. He's a dinosaur type of manager. 2-0, I think, Spurs Crystal Palace. I think the whole issue was because Ericsson wanted to leave. They've kind of sorted out him and Levy, Pochettino, the rumors that he wants to leave. I think they've all sorted that out. I think they'll be fine going forward now. They know that nobody's leaving. Transfer will be shot everywhere.
Till January.
Drama begins again. But for now, I think they'll be fine. So 2-0, Spurs. I think Crystal Palace luck will run out. So 2-0 Spurs.
Only prediction that I also go to pass is Man U, Leicester City. But if I'm being honest, from what I've seen, the way Maddison is playing, Jamie Vardy, no, I don't see how we're not consistent enough in the game. So we can have patches in the game where United are good, and it's usually like 10, 15 minutes. But I've seen so much these first few games of the season. We're not just ready for. It seems like that.
We'll have this conversation a little bit after. If you're watching this, like, share, subscribe, all our channels. Guys, thanks for coming on.